Newspaper Review, Sunday, 5th of July 2015. Let's look at the headlines of today's newspapers. Very first, the Sunday Times. President to stay neutral at polls. Cracking Rainbow Alliance. UNP disturbed. JHU forming different alliance. President Maithripala Sirisena's decision to allow his predecessor Mahinda Rajapaksa to contest the August 17th parliamentary election on the United People Freedom Alliance ticket has caused ripples within his own Rainbow coalition. Increasing tensions is Mr. Sirisena's decision not to take part in the election campaign. UPFA General Secretary Susil Prema Jayantha and Sri Lanka Freedom Party General Secretary Anura Priyadarshana Yapa are urging him to name Mr. Rajapaksa as campaign chief, but no final decision has yet been taken. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who heads the United National Party, has invited those not supportive of the Rajapaksa entry to contest on the UNP ticket. We are not getting alarmed and we will go before the people confidently, he told the Sunday Times. Mr. Wickremesinghe was not only in the forefront of Mr. Sirisena's presidential election campaign, but also believes the substantial numbers from the UNP vote base led to him to becoming president. Another who was in the forefront, Jatika Halawuri Mayor General Secretary Patali Champika Ranawaka, declared that the current situation created the need for third front. The top picture is published in Sunday Times newspaper first page that President Maithripala Sirisena, looking glum and attending the first public function yesterday after move to give nomination to former President Mahinda Rajapaksa for the forthcoming general elections, is seen being accosted by UNP frontliners Minister Mangala Samaravira and Ravi Karunanayaka. The Matra event was held to mark the laying of the foundation for the extension of the southern highway from Matra to Hambantota with Chinese funding. Next headline, media group slam Sirisena for bringing back Press Council. The constituent partners of the Sri Lanka Press Institute yesterday condemned the executive actions to President Maithripala Sirisena this week to reactivate the Sri Lanka Press Council. The SLPI said that President was reintroducing the dormant legislation that provided for a wide-ranging punitive powers, including that of imprisoning media personnel. A hard-hitting statement by newspaper publishers, national editors, media activists, and working journalists accused President Sirisena reversing an election promise of his to ensure the stoppage of direct and indirect threats and intimidation against print media personnel and their owners. They asked if this was the short-term and long-term program he promised in his election manifesto to protect the freedom of all media personnel. The SLPI, which represents the Newspaper Society of Sri Lanka, the Editor Guild of Sri Lanka, the Free Media Movement and the Sri Lanka Working Journalists Association, said the President's action was illegal and that he did not have the basic courtesy to consult stakeholders. Next headline, swift actions and prosecution of election law violate. The Election Department is seeking the advice of the Attorney General on how to expedite the prosecution of those violating elections law during the ongoing campaign for general elections. Commissioner Mahinda Deshapriya said yesterday. The Commissioner, who has been given new power under the 19th Amendment, will request the Attorney General to assign a separate team of officials to assist the police in the investigations and file action promptly against alleged offenders. I have also requested the Inspector General of Police assign special teams to investigate allegations of election-related crimes and file action as soon as possible. This will prevent persons from obtaining bail pending the investigations, Mr. Deshapriya told the Sunday Times. Next headline, TNA faces dispute over nominations. The Tamil National Alliance and its coalition partners are locked in a dispute over nominations for smaller parties in the alliance, party sources said. The dispute arose after smaller parties asked that at least 2 members from each smaller party be given nomination in the north and eastern provinces. These parties include the Tamil Elam Liberation Organization, Elam People's Revolutionary Liberation from EPRLF Suresh wing, and Democratic People's Liberation Front, which is the political wing of the plot. The Ilangai Tamil Arasu Katchi, the main party of the alliance, is to nominate 4 prominent members for each district in the 2 provinces, thereby minimizing chances for the election of members from smaller parties, the sources said. TNA leader Samanthan said they would be meeting in Vaunia tomorrow to sort out issues over the nominations. Next, we move to Sunday Observer. August election, power blocks line up against common foe. Rapid political realignment have begun on the event of nomination as parties and groups react to last week, sudden decision by the leadership of the United People's Freedom Alliance to field former President Mahinda Rajapaksa as one of its candidates for the forthcoming parliamentary austerings. The emerging new alignment are likely to pit a range of parties and coalitions that have been hostile to the Rajapaksa regime against the long and weakened UPFA analysts pointed out. With the former president's entry into the SLFP nominations list, the parties are likely to see breakaways by parties' stalwarts, while at least one party is expected to leave the alliance. Even as President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday affirmed that he would hold steadfast against any attempt to roll back the January 8 revolution, other political forces who had all united in his support against the Rajapaksa presidency in January are now reconsidering their own strategies. As party tacticians disclosed to the Sunday Observer, they wish to steer clear of the illegitimacy they may suffer if they remain too close to a campaign that includes their political arch enemy. The Jathika Hela Urimaya, which was to contest the election under the UPFA banners, has decided to review their decision after the UPFA decision to give nomination to Mahinda Rajapaksa, a party official told the Sunday Observer. The Democratic Party led by Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca is also reconsidering their decision to go solo at the election after the decision to give nomination to the former president. If Mahinda Rajapaksa is contesting, we are ready to join hands with other parties to form a broader alliance to defeat him at the election. Therefore, we will reconsider our party decision in the next few days, a spokesman told the Sunday Observer. Next headline, Navin joins UNP, faults SLFP for including MR. Former Minister and Kurunagala district leader of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party SP Navin yesterday crossed over to the ruling United National Party. Speaking to the Sunday Observer soon after his defection, Navin said he was disheartened by the ill treatment of the party's stalwarts by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. I was quite displeased by some of the recent happenings, including the decision to give nomination to former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. He said nothing what is happening with the SLFP is not good. Navin intends launching his election campaign from today. Despite having worked with and for the SLFP throughout 3 decades, Navin said he was so displeased that he decided not to contest on the SLFP ticket at the forthcoming general election. Next headline, extortion charges Prasanna grill. Western Province Chief Minister Prasanna Ranatunga has been extensively questioned by the Financial Crimes Investigation Department over alleged charges of extortion, police sources said. According to the sources also associated with the preliminary investigations that resulted in Ranatunga being required to record a statement. The matter involves an alleged demand of 64 million rupees and securing such money through 11 checks drawn in favor of the Chief Minister's spouse, Marin Ranatunga, and relative. The complaint against Ranatunga was lodged by Gihad Mandis, a director of Silicon Technologies Private Limited company importing security cameras and other high-tech equipment. The FCID is currently conducting investigation on Thursday. Marin Ranatunga was summoned to the FCID and questioned for around 7 hours. According to the complaint, the alleged bribe had been demanded in connection with the land deal that required the investor to seek the services of the provincial administration. Silicon Technologies had purchased land at number 251-9 Neethatamulla Road, Colonnava, to set up a container yard and warehouse. The investor had sought WPC assistance to remove unauthorized dollars in the land. Next, we move to Ceylon today. I will not betray 8 January's silent revolution. President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday pledged at Mathura that he would uphold the people's victory, transformation and change achieved by him as common candidate of the people on 8 January. The president also declared that as the chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, the decision and judgment he makes are being executed in a manner that protect the transformation which took place with the country on 8 January. He pledged not to betray the trust reposed on him by the people on that day. The president made these observations at an event of launch the construction of the section of Mathura Ambandota Expressway from Godagama held at Godagama in Mathura yesterday. Minister of Highway and Investment Promotion Kabir Hashim, Minister of Foreign Affairs Mangala Samaraveera, and Financial Minister Ravi Karunanayake also participated on this occasion. That's headlines of today's newspapers. We'll meet tomorrow with more headlines. Until then, log on with Athavan News.